Hey, what's up guys? It's Cooper from typewriter Films, and today I'm just going to be showing you guys a couple of simple text effects that I think are most effective and work really well in Adobe After Effects. Now I know last week I did a tutorial on how to create a write-on effect in Premiere. I know Premiere has a lot of cool text effects as well, but After Effects is just easier and more user-friendly for me, and it probably will be for you too. So let's hop right into this, but before I get started, if you do have any new tutorial requests or any questions in general, don't forget to hit me up on Instagram or any other social media platform. I'm going to leave the links to those accounts down in the description. So hit me up on those, and I am pretty responsive, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. So without further ado, let's get started on this project. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is go up to Composition, New Composition, and for the sake of this video I'm just going to name it Text Effects and leave it at 1920 by 1080. And then you want to go up to Layer, New, and Text. So once you do that, you're just going to type out whatever you want, however you want it to look like. Hold on, let it render there for a second. So for this video, Text Effects. And if you guys like this font that I'm using right here, I'm going to leave the link down in the description as well. I use defont.com for a lot of my fonts. It's a great website, and there's no viruses or anything shady about it. So that is a great website, and I definitely recommend. So the first effect I'm going to be showing you guys today is just a simple wiggle effect. I know Sam Colder uses this in a lot of his videos, and I've seen a lot of star videographers use this in a couple of their videos and travel stuff like that. So this is actually a really simple effect, but before I show you how to apply the effect, a lot of these effects are going to be under Animation Presets, and you just click under that tab and then Text, and this is going to give you a ton of stuff down here. There's some pretty cool stuff that Adobe provides for you without having to go look and find and download stuff. It's all free right here, and they're all great animations and effects you can apply to your text. But for this first wiggle effect I'm going to show you guys, it's going to be called a quiver effect, and that's going to be under Organic right here. So we're just going to click that down, grab quiver, and apply it, and you can see the playback right here. You can see those letters kind of jiggle with that wiggle effect that I was talking about. And if you guys want to change anything up, super simple, just drop down this text panel, then you'll see an animation right here, and then it's actually going to be called wiggle on After Effects as well, even though it was called quiver in the beginning. And you can play with any positioning, anything like that, but the real stuff and real editing to kind of change up your wiggle as much as you want is going to be down here. If you guys don't like just the individual letters shaking, you can change it to words right here, and it's just going to have those words pop up and down. And you can kind of see in that playback right there, kind of glitchy because it needs a render. But you can play with the minimum amount and maximum amount that you want that jiggle to move. It's really simple. Just play around with the animations and set it to your liking. And that's all I have for the wiggle effect. Alright, so the second effect I'm going to be showing you guys today is just a simple little earthquake kind of flicker effect. This is a pretty cool effect as well. It's going to be under that same Animations Presets box I talked to you guys about earlier. And this one is actually called Jiggy. So if you go up here, search up Jiggy, it's going to be under your text and blurs. And I think some of these blur effects are actually really cool in that folder, but Jiggy is my favorite. Definitely kind of creates that hopping up and down, similar to the wiggle, just with a little blur and opacity change right there. Just like I showed you guys before, this is going to be crucial when you're dropping down this text right here and playing with the animator however you really want to. There's a lot of different things you can do. Mess with the start, end, and then if you go down to advanced, you can mess with the smoothness, mode, different things like that. The amount is actually going to change how much blurriness is in the effect. You can see is when I drop it down, you're going to get rid of all of it, and then as you move it back up, it's just going to blur it even more. So as simple as that. There's nothing really else to this effect. It's pretty simple, and I'm going to move on to the next effect. So this third effect I'm going to show you guys is called the typewriter effect. I personally love this effect. I actually used it in one of my spring break videos this past year. And if you throw a pretty cool sound effect on there, it just kind of gives you that old school kind of vibe and drops it on letter by letter without having to do anything. It all does it for you. So here's the playback, and it just plops it on letter by letter right there. And there's nothing else you can really do with this effect. You can only change things within your keyframes. So if you drop down that animator like I've been showing you guys, and then your range selector, you can move these keyframes however you want. So say we move this one right here, it's just going to speed up how much your letters show up on the screen. Same thing if you drag it all the way out here, it's going to go a little bit slower. So you can play around with that as much as you want. You can match it to any kind of beat or sound effect you've inputted, but it's a pretty simple effect as well, very useful, and one of my favorites for sure. So the fourth effect I'm going to be showing you guys today is kind of a strobe effect. It kind of gives you that fluorescent kind of light bulb look. It's kind of flickering, a little bit haunted in a way, but super simple to use, just like all of the others. And this one's actually going to be under the lights and optics part of this text folder right here. So go to lights and optical, drop that down, and you're going to see a ton of options. All these options are really cool. I love to use some of these. I'll actually show you guys another example after I drop my favorite down. But my favorite is the fluorescent light effect. It's just kind of a cool little light bulb, messes with the opacity a little bit, and that's just a pretty cool effect. Same thing as usual, drop down the text, mess with the animator as much as you want. There's so many different options you can play with. I'm not going to go into great depth today on it because I could mess around with these text effects all day, but that's a pretty cool effect as well. To show you guys another one in this folder, just play around. There's actually, should be called, there it is, a flicker exposure, and this is just going to kind of play with the stroke, exposure, and outline of your text. Simple as that. It all animates it for you. You can mess with that animation. And even color, down in the text again, just drop down that animation, see you can adjust color right there. So now that I've covered the fourth, let's move on to this fifth and final effect. So the fifth and final effect I'm going to be showing you guys today is a TV effect. It's called Bad TV, and it kind of gives you an old style TV feel with the lines running across the screen and stuff like that. I think this is a cool effect if you're trying to make an old style film, or even one of those Super 8 kind of looking films. It's a pretty cool effect, and you just go up to your effects and presets like usual, search Bad TV. Gonna be in those animation presets as usual under Image and Special Effects. And I think the Bad TV 2 old effect is the best out of those three. You can play around with those if you want, but this is my favorite of the three. You can kind of see, let me render this out a little bit, but you can see the text kind of wave in that old blinding look right there. So I think that's a pretty cool effect. You can adjust wave height and anything like that. This is going to lower how much that's really going to stretch, and as long as you go up, it's going to totally wig out that thing right there. And I usually keep it around 50, low 30s maybe, but there's a lot of things you can play with. If you don't like those blinds in there, you can totally take this down with transition completion and just don't have this transition complete at all. And you can kind of see those blinds are gone. So that's all I really have for you guys today. There's a lot of cool effects and things you can do within Adobe After Effects. There's so many text presets you can mess around with. Honestly, the way I learned how to do all this is just going through the folders, dragging and dropping, doing different things, and a lot of them are pretty cool and really useful without having to go search online and pay for anything ridiculous like that. So if you did find this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the page. I'm going to be rolling out tutorials about every week now, so and that's really about it. There's so many things you can do within Adobe After Effects. You can see under the animation presets and under all this text stuff, there's so many folders of different effects you can choose from. And if you scroll down here, you can play with a ton of different things. A lot of times I like to play with just the wave warp and Venetian blinds. If I click that down right here, set transition completion, however you want. If you want to get rid of those blinds, I like to get rid of them a lot of time and just have the wave. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you found this video helpful. And if you did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the page. I'm going to be releasing tutorials about every week now, so don't forget to tag along and stick around for more tutorials in the future. There's so much you can do within Adobe After Effects, and I can't wait to show you guys in the future. So I'll see you guys next week.